This week on Past Gas, we're talking about Jann Mardenborough, the subject of the Gran Turismo movie and his rise to fame through online racing, how he went from driving on a sim rig to driving on a real track.
Well, now it's more common.
Now it's a little bit more common. He was one of the first, though.
He is one of the first. He wasn't the first because that show had actually been out for a while. But he had the coolest story. And
Cool
he got
story.
a movie.
He's a cool guy, too.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy, too, so let's get into it. Jann Mardenborough. Summer 2011 in Cardiff, Wales. A sliver of sun peeks out from the gloom and through the shades of 19-year-old Jann Mardenborough's childhood bedroom. The beam cascades across his homemade wooden sim racing rig. As Jann prepares himself for a day of gaming, he gives a cursory turn of the steering wheel and tests out the resistance of his pedals. He turns on his PlayStation, as he has done thousands of times before, but today is different. He has no idea that his life is about to change forever. Today, he will enroll in the GT Academy competition. In just a few short years, Hollywood would make a movie about his life, and that's the least interesting thing about him. How did this young Brit go from sim racing in his bedroom to international motorsport stardom? How did he outrace 8 million drivers online to solidify himself as the most successful GT Academy winner of all time? And how are sim games like Gran Turismo leveling the playing field when it comes to racing? Today on Past Gas, we dive into the story of Jann Mardenborough. Let's get it!
Past Gas Podcast. It's about cars, it's not about sports.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Jimmy?
How's it going?
Joe?
Justin?
Justin.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Those voices you hear are Jimmy Hilton
What's up?
and Justin Freeman.
Oh, man, I'm on a podcast.
You guys have seen the Gran Turismo movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What initial thoughts?
Honestly, if you haven't seen it yet, don't go in thinking about a racing movie.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It is very much a sports movie.
Oh.
It is a sports movie.
Okay.
And that makes it good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was
good.
a very if you have the time to watch it, definitely watch it.
Yeah.
It's a very inspiring story. They did it really well. They don't really focus on the technicalities of racing as much. They make it a little bit more of a fantasy,
Sure.
But it's good. It's actually very well shot.
Yeah. The one thing
awesome.
that I thought was really funny in that movie was he was like doing GT stuff, and then he was like, now you have, but then they were like going to out him from it. And then he was like, now you have to go to Le Mans to prove yourself.
Yeah.
Which would never happen.
No one jumps that fast. It was very much like video game-esque where you're just like hopping from class to class. And it's just like, all right, well, in order to prove everyone wrong, you're going to go do the biggest race ever. And it's just like,
now you got to get your super license.
Yeah. It's like,
go
he hasn't
to
even been
Japan.
doing this a year. But
Very cool.
besides some, skill acceleration.
They got to Hollywood it up a little bit, you know.
But they did a good job.
How was Amelia Hartford in it?
She didn't have a crazy major role. She was
more of an Easter egg, I felt like.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
okay.
part of the school. She was just kind of not. I wouldn't say side character because they kind of had a small group of
Was
people.
she competing against him?
Technically, yes.
Okay.
They were competing inside the school because it was an elimination style.
Yeah.
Like bracket.
You're out.
Yeah, it was like, hey, if you, by this certain point in the class, if you're not faster in the top 5, then you get ejected. Essentially, which is funny because later in the movie, everyone got in the race.
Yeah.
Well,
the top 3 guys, right?
Well, no, like they all got picked up by other teams.
That's true.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter what team you're on as long as you're getting a race.
And they still
you
got the experience.
exposure.
Yeah.
The experience. It's just like American Idol. Just because you didn't win American Idol doesn't mean people didn't recognize your skill, because it's a competition at the end of the day.
No one even knows who Kelly Clarkson is. Everyone knows who Bo Bice is, right?
Who's the skater you were talking about?
Chad
right?
Muska?
Yeah, everyone knows Chad Muska, right?
Different story.
Sorry,
but
just needed to bring it back to Chad Muska.
Yeah. You might have noticed that Nolan is out. He's going to be out this whole month because he was shooting Hilo.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's his wedding week, so he has to take the whole week off for some reason.
Mentally prepare.
Yeah.
Mentally,
get ready.
yeah. He's like, I'm going to be
I
locked
feel
down.
that.
I mean, we've been extremely busy.
Sure.
You know?
I'm casting shade on it only because
no.
I have to recast him.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
His
So
his
what's wrong with
vacation.
What the fuck? We're not gonna know.
Oh my god, I got everyone on my back. Well, should we jump into it?
Yeah.
Well, first I have a little road trip snack.
Oh, nice, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Not this orange creamsicle.
No,
delicious
that's
candle.
inedible.
that's a candle. You cannot eat
smells
that
so good.
unless you're on My Strange Addictions.
You brought that in, right?
Yeah, I hit up Huff. They
Oh,
did this
sick.
like Corvette candle, and Alex actually was like, we really got to get one of those, and I
Yeah.
hit him up, and they were just like, yeah, sure,
We
I'll
should-
send one.
You
Sick.
should actually use it.
No,
It's a C5 or C4?
it's a
Um,
C.
That's a C4.
Yeah, the back.
That's a C4.
That Fitment is garbage, though.
You know,
It
Very
looks
of
like
the time.
Yeah, it's very old
actually,
school.
no, I think it's just the way the mold had to be.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'm pretty sure they stuck the wheels on later. But anyway, you can't see this because this
Sure.
is a podcast.
Yeah. All right,
That's
well,
right. Head over to youtube.com/donut podcasts if you want to see the candle that we're talking about.
Yeah.
It smells amazing.
And if you want to see these chicken nuggets, which I'm going to
Oh.
offer to you guys.
Oh, wow.
Chickies, nuggies.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah, of course.
Normally I'd eat these with sauce, but
I don't have any sauce.
so these are chicken nuggets from McDonald's. We
Mhm.
are rating road trip snacks
Mm.
because this is a road trip podcast. These are,
These are the
before I
greatest.
even crunched into it, this is a classic road trip snack.
Mhm.
I actually only eat McDonald's when I'm
On a
on the
trip?
road. I limit myself because I'd eat it every week
Mhm.
if left to my own devices.
So good.
That's a good nugget.
Mhm.
Good nugget. I don't even care how processed it is.
Yeah. GMOs? What the heck's that? I just ignore it.
Get Mo nuggets.
Mhm.
That's what Jim.
What's your go-to McDonald's sauce?
Ranch.
Ranch?
I like their sweet and sour.
I'm a sauceless guy. I'm weird like that.
when it comes to nuggets, I don't like to dip and drive. You know, I just eat them.
It makes it harder.
They're definitely not going to be there by the time I get home.
That's the same. I'm the same way.
I also
Yeah.
don't eat fries with ketchup.
Me neither.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
It depends. They got to be bad fries to want ketchup,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or so good that I need to try ketchup. But
Mhm.
you know,
It's
usually
not necessary.
Yeah, it's not.
I knew a girl in high school who would go through a large fry at McDonald's and eat 42 packets of ketchup with it,
What?
which is basically a whole packet per fry. Isn't that insane? That's
They're
so much
McDonald's
salt
fries.
and ketchup.
Where's
Yeah.
she nowadays?
She's probably doing very well.
Yeah, probably. That's like the one thing.
Yeah, I know, right?
What am I rating it against?
Out of
Just
10.
0 to
one
10.
to
Yeah.
10. Okay,
Yeah.
so McDonald's chicken nuggets, when they're good, 8.5.
8.5 is great. Yeah. I'd venture to say 9.
Yeah, I'll say 9.
Yeah.
9 for me, for
One
sure.
of the top road trip snacks. Doesn't leave a lot of grease.
Yeah,
Nope.
not
Yeah.
not
You know,
a
you
greasy
eat a
As
Big
long
guy.
as you
Mac-
sauce, as long as you don't sauce them,
Yeah.
your hands are clean.
You know, one of my pet peeves is like getting McDonald's ketchup on my hands and then it smells like ketchup the whole day.
Yep.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
after washing it. It's
Mhm.
gross. These are pretty clean compared to other stuff at
Yeah.
McDonald's.
What would you say your go-to number one
Road trip snack?
Yeah, road trip snack
I
is.
think the consensus, we've only done this 3 times so far, but the consensus is that jerky is the
Yeah.
best road trip snack. And we'll have it on eventually as we'll rate it eventually.
You
but
can't do it. That can't be like one of the first ones.
No,
No,
because
no,
we know
no,
it's going
no.
to be high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna blow the load.
Yeah. On
Don't
that
blow your
note-
Not in the car.
Not in the car, dude. Wait.
Mine are the Smuckers
Oh, Uncrustables.
Uncrustables.
God.
Oh.
You brought those on our hiking trip.
Oh.
It almost got us killed, but not the Uncrustables.
Not the Uncrustables.
Yeah.
The trip.
Those are a highlight of the hike.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into it. The eldest of 2 boys, Jann Mardenborough was born in Darlington, England on September 9th, 1991 to Leslie Ann and Steve Mardenborough. Later, his family moved to Cardiff, Wales.
Cardiff.
I'm
from Wales. I'm part Welsh.
Really?
From my Australian side, apparently.
Sheep shagger. That's what they call him over there.
No! I've never seen a sheep in my life.
Is that true?
I've seen a sheep.
Okay. You are sheep.
Oh.
That's a good one. All right.
We're not even one paragraph into
Yeah,
this.
and I'm getting roasted. Welcome to Past Gas.
Having played football professionally, Jann's father was a big believer in setting high goals and living your dreams. He encouraged his boys to think big. As a child, Jann's favorite toys were trucks and matchbox cars. He was mesmerized by anything with wheels. When he wasn't playing with cars, he'd spend hours watching motorsports, particularly British touring cars and F1.
BTCC, British Touring Car
You got your Aston
Championship.
Martins. You got your Jaguar.
No, more like
Minis.
Opals and
Oh, the small ones.
BMWs and like 4-door saloon. Not like big saloons, but
Oh,
your
Volvo?
4-door
Was Volvo in
compacts.
that one?
Hmm?
Was Volvo in that one with the
I
wagons?
think so. Volvo was in that.
Yeah.
No one was a bigger supporter of this dream than his father. In a recent interview with GT Planet, Jann recalled,
The first conversation I had with my dad about driving, he'd tell me and my younger brother, Kobe, to do something in your life which is your purpose and that you're passionate about.
that was like you were doing someone else's impression within an impression.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
That's my first impression of the day. So it's only going to get
He's
better from
warming
here.
up. Yeah, he's
I'm just warming up.
It was Steve who took Jann to his very first go-karting track. Even then, at the age of 8, Jann took to driving as if he had been doing it his whole life. After returning a few times, people began to take notice of his innate talent, with the owner of the track making a point to tell Steve that his boy was a natural-born racer.
He's a natural, that boy.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Jimmy. In the movie, the dad was not supportive.
That's a
He was
big
not.
discrepancy
Yeah.
that we talk about in this script is like,
But
They
it,
put a-
but it wouldn't have been as good if
It-
he was just
yeah.
like, because he needed something to hold him back.
yeah,
And it was mainly
His dad.
him getting in trouble and his dad being like, go do something else. These
Yeah.
video games are dumb.
Yeah.
And it was that guy, what's his name? It's the guy that was in like Guardians of the Galaxy in the beginning
Yes.
with the orb.
Yeah.
And he's always like, oh, who is this Star-Lord?
Oh.
It was him. It's always him. He's always someone's dad or something. I just saw
He's a good
Quiet
dad
Place.
guy.
I just saw a Quiet Place, and he was just like this side character dad that kept reappearing. The new Quiet Place.
Wait, Orlando Bloom?
No.
Not Orlando Bloom.
David Harbour? Oh, Jimon Hansu.
Yeah,
I love that dude.
yeah, he's in everything.
Great name.
Yeah.
He was in Amistad.
Yes,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyway, he's just always like the cool dad, or just like the funny villain,
Mhm.
or the serious. He's in
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, he was
He's
very
got
serious.
range.
in the
He was
movie.
the dad in this movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got to see it now.
So he was just like really angry.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do something else outside.
Video games.
Go work.
Stupid.
You can come work at the railroad with me. It's
The
like-
railroad?
Your brother
dad
has
was
so
a-
much potential at soccer.
Yeah. Yeah.
His dad was a professional.
Yeah, soccer player. So he
Yeah.
he gave up football and to work hard because I think he got injured or something.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
He really wanted his boys to focus on that. So that's the one major discrepancy.
You got to have something driving the main character.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. It was
Yeah.
a great sports movie.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
Soon, Jann and his father were regulars at the karting track. Jann's biggest thrill was going fast.
Love going fast.
With support from his family, a clear vision, and a circuit to practice on, it seemed like Jann was all set up to begin his career in racing. But 3 years later, everything would come to a screeching halt when their local karting track unexpectedly closed for good.
That's
Oh,
a shame.
no.
Dang.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's the dream killer.
That
right there.
that would have been good in
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
That would have been
What if he had to like save up money to buy it?
Yeah. And then he owns the track.
And he
Yeah.
never becomes a race car driver.
I'm the kart track owner.
That's
now.
what we're doing for Willow Springs.
Oh yeah.
That's the movie that's coming to Netflix.
Wasn't it sold already?
Is it sold?
I thought someone
sold?
bought it.
I don't know.
Haven't heard of that.
Yeah.
There's potential buyers.
There's
Well-
a lot of potential buyers.
You know, I'm announcing here today that I have bought Willow Springs.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, I think the racetrack's going to be a good investment.
For sure. Yeah. You're
Absolutely.
not going to lose any money on the
No.
racetrack. Saying goodbye to a track that had become his home was devastating for Jann. There were no other local tracks, and traveling regularly just to kart was just too expensive. The cost of travel fees, track membership, and equipment costs can make racing inaccessible for most people to break into, and Jann's family lived modestly. Without any connections to the world of motorsport, his dream took a back seat to reality. But that didn't mean that he had to give up on his love for the sport. Jann took what he had learned on track and applied it to video games. His favorite was Gran Turismo. A few years prior, Jann had discovered the game at his parents' friend's house. Whenever his family visited, Jann would sneak away, boot up the PS1, and spend a few hours running laps while the adults hung out in the other room.
Booted up the old PS1.
Boot it up? Oh, that means hooded up in
Yeah.
England.
Bonnet.
What?
Bonnet.
Yeah.
Bonnet.
Jann's car of choice, a lilac-colored Mitsubishi 3000 GT.
That's everyone's car.
It wasn't mine.
That was
What'd you drive in Gran Turismo 1?
feel like it was a Miata was my favorite. That's the one that you start off with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo 1, I believe you can get the Mazda speed kit.
The 3000 GT or the GTO,
Yeah.
Mitsubishi GTO. It was the car that he crashes.
Wait, not Dodge Stealth?
Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Okay.
don't think the Stealth was in it though.
Yeah.
But it's a VR6 twin turbo. So in Fast and the Furious, the guy's playing in his car. He's driving that car.
Yeah.
And it was like a known, like, that was the car to get because it was just so much better than everything else.
Yeah.
It was all-wheel drive and everything until you got like an R34 kind of thing. But like that was the cheap car to buy and compete throughout most of the game.
Yeah. Is that a real color that it was offered in? I just remember them in red.
It was either red or white for me, or black.
Yeah. Knowing how much it meant to him, his parents' friends later gifted the game.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice. He played Gran Turismo 1.
I feel like that's always
How old was he?
Yeah.
1991. So
he's my age. Okay.
Yeah, he would have been like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
This all adds up now.
Yeah. After that, Jann then dove headfirst into his obsession and started clocking about 2 to 3 hours of sim racing every single day for the next 11 years.
Dang.
Man.
Get some grind on it.
Yeah.
Dude,
Right? That's what they say.
These are the kind of guys you run into online, and you're like,
I'm not going to spend that much time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just came here to relax. I just wanted to drive my car.
I just want to have fun on this game. God, this guy's taking it so seriously.
And he's just like laughing.
Yeah.
Because this is
Oh
his
my
regular
God.
practice.
Noob.
Yeah.
After he graduated high school and got a job in retail, Jann had resigned himself to the notion that professional racing was out of his grasp. Like most kids in his situation, he figured that race cars were something he would only get to experience in video games.
Right.
But, ever ambitious, he could at least make the most out of his virtual sessions. He wasn't afraid to put in the work.
There was this house in my hometown that I used to walk by a lot. We had a greenway.
Yeah.
And this house was right at the end of the greenway. And I would say I walked in that greenway since I was like 6. And I would walk past his house and see this dad. I never saw the people. I just saw their stuff. And it went from little backyard off-road carts to full, like, professional, like, had a 3-car trailer, like, full of go-karts.
You saw the progression of that?
I saw the progression of whoever this kid was and their dad, like, just building a race team for him.
That's sick.
That's so
and
cool.
I was so jealous.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It was just like, kicking my scooter by, just like, what they got now?
Oh, no.
Wow.
Side by side. Great.
That
Cool
sucks.
stuff.
And
I'm
then
happy for you.
Next, you know, he had 3 trailers. You know, I was like, he got into like the tiny NASCARs at one point. You know?
whoa.
It was just like,
Damn. That's expensive.
yeah, that was really upsetting.
In a 2023 interview with the Irish Times, he recalled,
I wanted a simulator rig, but I was 17. I couldn't afford it, so I picked a design brief and built a frame from MDF, composite wood, and painted it in Art Deco style. My parents wanted to incentivize me to do well, so they said, okay, if you get good results, we'll give you the money. I got £300 and I used that to buy the wheel and pedal to complete the rig.
God damn, Jimmy.
great accent, dude. Also, like, very.
He's not Irish. I just saw Irish and I was like, oh.
Well, I think that was more Scottish.
Okay.
It was like northern UK.
I'm dialing it in.
It's great, though. I love the swing you're taking.
Okay, thank you.
In 2011, Jann logged on to Gran Turismo and was notified that due to his impressive lap times, he was eligible to participate in an exclusive online competition against other top GT drivers.
Wonder what that moment was like.
God.
You log in and that's the message you get on the board and it's like,
Yeah.
whoa.
It's like getting an
What the
acceptance letter to Yale or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't really into time attack, Jann couldn't pass on this opportunity.
Yeah, you have the skills, man. You're good to go.
Yeah. But this was no ordinary time trial competition. This was the first point of entry into GT Academy. GT Academy was the brainchild of Darren Cox, a former Nissan Europe executive who wanted to use Gran Turismo to find and develop untapped racing talent and transform them from real gamers to real-world drivers.
It's a brilliant idea.
Revolutionary for the time. The winners of online trials would be taken to a race camp and trained in a real race car. Their competitions would be televised as they fought to be the last person standing, solidifying themselves as a bona fide racer. This idea became GT Academy, running from 2008 to 2016.
I remember watching the first season. and it was really just like, can these nerds even drive?
Yeah.
And a lot, like half the field didn't know how to drive manual, you know.
Oh wow.
And it was like, especially in the UK, it was like,
Yeah, that's
whoa,
interesting.
Yeah.
What? You don't know?
Because they were young, or
They
just
were probably either really
Yeah.
young, or some places you have to get a license for it or whatever.
Yeah.
But, there was a lot of people that just like, hey, go like do a J turn, like just whip a shitty right here real quick, and they're like, I don't know how to do that, and it's like, okay, peace, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, get out.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Whoa.
it was a very exciting show.
Yeah, that's cool.
Damn, that dreams were probably crushed pretty fast.
Pretty
Oh,
hard. But
man.
like some of these kids were literally just like, I've only ever played online. I don't even have a
I've only
license.
ridden in me mum's car.
Yeah,
Your mom
like there's
Probably
a lot
only
of,
on like a PlayStation controller too.
probably,
Like without
or
a
they
sim
were
rig.
just good at video games. Like so,
Yeah.
even a racing game was easy for them, but like they never knew how to drive. They never
2011, that would have been which Gran Turismo?
Gran Turismo 5.
Gran Turismo 5
I
is
remember that
2011.
one. Yeah.
In PlayStation's words,
GT Academy is a virtual to reality competition where we, along with Nissan, seek to answer the question, can you take a Gran Turismo gamer and turn them into a real-life racing driver?
That was perfect.
yeah, that's
Thank
really
you.
good. To prepare, Jann upped his training time to 5 hours of play a day. That's crazy.
That's wild.
Wow.
As
that's a
any
job.
good parents would be, his parents grew concerned about their son's video game obsession.
Of course, in the early days, we did not have any concerns over the amount of time he spent on the PlayStation.
His mother, Leslie Ann, once confessed.
But I'm so glad he put in the hours now.
I bet she is.
What, do
Yeah.
you practice at home, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Jeez, bro.
I'm getting good at
Killing
Yeah.
it.
it. Man, boy, hot pockets. That's all I can think of.
Bathroom.
You've seen that South Park episode, right?
No.
They play
Oh,
World of Warcraft
yeah.
for like 12 hours a day or
Oh,
something.
when he's like that guy?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Shits
just
in a...
in a bucket.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
poop bucket. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
That's a great episode.
That's
such a
really
good
good. I love
episode.
that.
They won awards for that one.
Yeah, they
Really?
Like the animation and
Oh, that's
everything for
funny.
the World of Warcraft. They got
Yeah.
a lot of stuff for that.
The initial phase of competition involved competing with other online players to set the fastest lap over the course of 4 rounds. Out of 90,000 virtual competitors, Jann Mardenborough ran the fastest lap in his region. He then moved on to the second phase. The holders of the 20 fastest online lap times from territories across Europe would compete online in the national finals event. It was the most important 4-round race he would ever experience, but Mardenborough's cool head and determination propelled him forward in the competition as one by one his competitors were eliminated. He had done it. He had made it to the top 12. His spot in the academy was secured. Jann was finally going to get behind the wheel of a real race car.
The thing is, the season he was in wasn't the first season. That was
Yeah.
the funny part. So it's like,
In the movie, they
Mhm.
made it seem like the first season, right?
right? Yeah. But in real life, they had already been through 4, I think.
Yeah, this would have been the third, because it was 2008,
8, 9,
2011.
10, 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being surprised when you got the message, I think could be a stretch, you know, but it's still a shock.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, because by then that was everyone's goal.
Mhm.
I gotta be the best. I gotta,
Yeah.
gotta get invited. Because they did an American one later, I believe.
Oh,
Where they
okay.
And this was
allowed-
just did like Xbox ever do anything like Forza or something?
No, it was a Nissan PlayStation deal.
Got it.
Forza never did anything like this. The mechanics, they're both sim games, but the mechanics are slightly different. And then the way the Xbox controller is changes everything.
Yeah,
Now
absolutely.
that crossplay is a thing, you know, it's funny playing PlayStation people against like Xbox people. I thought PlayStation people were better.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's that noticeable?
It's pretty noticeable.
Oh, we're starting a console war.
Yeah,
Uh,
console wars on the podcast. Let's go.
I'm-
But racing games never cross over because they're always exclusive. So
Yeah.
there's really no way to know until like PC ports and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, Gran Turismo is very strictly PlayStation, and being the partnership with Nissan,
Mhm.
they got to drive GTRs like
370s.
370s, and then later GTRs, I believe. No, their race cars were GTRs.
Well, it looks like up ahead we'll be learning about that.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Let me shut up.
this guy reads ahead. Race camp was held at the world-famous Silverstone circuit in the UK.
Which is crazy because that's a high-speed track.
That's super
It's
high
an F1
speed.
track.
Very
But
technical.
It's not, it's like wide.
It is
So
very
if you
wide.
slide out, you're like going on to more tarmac.
That's fine, but it's like to get to do that is
Yeah.
that first one is so cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Splitting off into regions, the competitors were assigned mentors and judges, professionals who could show them how to operate the vehicles, how to pit, how to operate safely, and provide general guidance and background knowledge of the course. Jann's mentor was former F1 champion Johnny Herbert.
What a name.
That's a solid name.
That is a really... Hey, John Herb.
Johnny Herbs. They would be racing in Nissan 370Zs, which is sick. That's awesome.
Because they were brand new back then. So.
The transition into real car was far more physically taxing than Jann had anticipated, leaving him sore and exhausted at the end of every day. As he later recalled in an interview, quote,
"You have to have muscles in certain areas that normal people don't have. Your head can weigh 4 times the weight that it normally does. So with the helmet on your head, could weigh for 24 kilograms sometimes. That's why racing drivers have quite big necks. Your body takes a pounding. Your heart rate is a minimum of 150 beats per minute, and it stays at the rate for hours. And you can burn 1,000 calories in 2 hours. It's not just sitting around and driving. You're really wrestling a machine."
Let's pause for a second because you are moving your way down to Wales. That was like a Liverpool accent.
Yeah.
And that's, first you went Scotland, now you're at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Then I don't know what Manchester is next, and then you're going to make it to Wales eventually.
He's playing Geoguesser with his accents. Over here.
I'm just trying to remember.
Jimmy's killing it.
The voices from Little Britain. You ever watch that?
Oh, that takes place in Wales?
Nah, it's just like a comedy sketch show with a ton of different like British accents. Pretty funny. I'd check it out.
I will check it out. Yeah,
it's really funny.
Geoguesser accents would be
a
pretty challenging game,
dude. That'd be sick.
Don't take that idea.
Yeah. Someone do it.
I just watched a Geoguesser finals competition between Geo Rainbolt and this other dude I had never heard of. But
imagine,
man, Geo Rainbolt can see an upside down picture in black and white with 4 pixels and be like, "That's South Africa."
Did he like travel a lot or something?
No, he just
plays that game so
zooms
much.
in on Google Earth. That's all he does.
I used to do that in middle school.
Geoguesser?
No, just zoom in on Google Earth.
I still do that.
On stuff. There's whole channels around that.
Yeah,
whole
absolutely.
YouTube channels like, I found this weird structure.
Yeah,
in the
that's
Arizona
why I was
desert.
in middle school.
I'm just gonna go find it.
Well, there's a guy named GeoWizard who started off doing Geoguesser and then started doing challenges like I went across the UK in a straight line.
Oh yeah.
And he would hike and he's like, "This is such a bad idea. Why did I do this?" He's like drowning in this like mud and he's like, "Oh, this was a mistake."
I really biffed it up this time.
Yeah. And then he gets out of it and he's like, I've never been that close to death before. And no one knows I'm here.
Yeah. No one actually does the
I
straight
wonder
line
if
stuff, so
they'll have a Geoguesser boot camp, just like GT Academy. And the CIA will throw it.
Well, they did a challenge with Geo Rainbolt where they took him blindfolded in a plane and took him up in a skydiving plane and had him strapped to someone blindfolded, jumped out, and they had him take his blindfold off, and he had to figure out where he was before he hit the ground.
Was this Red Bull?
Yeah, I think it was Red Bull.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. This all makes sense now. That's
falling.
crazy. And he was able to figure it out.
Yeah.
That road.
Yeah.
He's trying to zoom, but it's real life.
It would be harder because like he goes off of like the lines on the road, the bollards, the lines on the bollards, the vegetation, the telephone poles, like all that stuff is clues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, back at Silverstone, race camp was a grueling week of driving boot camp with driving challenges and military-style physical conditioning. One morning, the contestants were awoken by alarms, driven to a remote area in the woods, and made to run through a course of smoke grenades.
That sounds awesome.
Over the top.
Very not relative to racing, but whipping people into shape is fun. Yeah.
They were strapped into harnesses and attached to the front of their Nissan 370s, which they then physically pulled onto the track.
Oh. Whoa.
I could not do that.
Was this not in the movie?
See, but like, no, this was not in the movie.
This was like, the
movie was all about driving.
Oh, yeah.
But what is cool about this is this brings back what I said earlier about it being a show and a challenge.
Yeah.
Because this has nothing to do with your racing capability. It's just like, hey, are you going to endure what we're going to throw at you for this prize, this test? Like you're, oh my goodness. It's like, hey, we need someone that's at least close to being shape.
Yep. After the car was in place, they would hop in, drive laps, jump out, and complete several more laps on bikes, and finally complete the race with a final lap of running.
Whoa.
Some competitors dropped out, others were eliminated. Finally, the competition was narrowed down to 4 potential winners: Danilo Bordino, Carlos Murillo, Thibaut Lacombe, and Jann Mardenborough.
So they didn't do any driving. They just only worked out.
No,
They did, in the middle of all that
Yeah.
stuff, they did laps in their 370s.
wake up, smoke grenades.
Pull your car onto
Pull
the
car to
track,
track.
do laps,
Do laps.
get out, do a lap on your bike, do a lap on your feet after that.
And then get more smoke grenades
is it-
thrown at
yeah.
you.
Hopefully not the full Silverstone, because that's insane.
No, that was like 2.5 miles, 3 miles.
Yeah.
I guarantee it was Silverstone.
No. Hopefully not the full track, though.
Yeah.
Oh, they
It
probably.
may be like half track.
Okay.
Yeah. Finals were held on October 9th at Silverstone. After standing out among millions of GT players, a 20-minute race would determine which of the final 4 would take home the grand prize. From the beginning, Lacombe and Mardenborough were neck and neck. Jann started in the top position with a flawless launch, but the Frenchman was hot on his tail. Then when Mardenborough missed a gear, Lacombe passed him, taking the lead. At that moment, Jann saw his dream slipping away. He saw himself in second place, proud but ultimately ending up back where he began, living with his parents, working a job he didn't care about. He was not about to let a missed shift dictate his entire future. With renewed focus, Jann had one last chance to give it everything he had. He would later tell Forbes, quote,
Driving's like dancing. If you're uptight, it shows. You become robotic. I was there because I was good, but then you need a little bit of spice to unlock that.
dude, you're getting there. That's like Manchester.
Dialing it in, dude.
London-ish. As the race wound to a close, Jann retook the lead.
A misshift can really mess things up.
Dude,
I misshifted in the employee drag race we did.
and you still won.
You almost lost.
Yeah.
To
Dude,
Aston
your
Miata?
worst
yeah.
nightmare.
If I'd lost, I would have sold all my Miatas. I would have given it all up.
Mardenborough proved to be a fierce competitor that day, his thousands of hours at home translating into real-life grit and talent. He finished in first, winning by 8 seconds. Quote,
I'm really buzzing, ecstatic.
Jann said on the podium.
This competition is going to change my life massively.
Oh, we're back up to
Sorry,
Scotland.
it's gonna keep,
I love it.
it's gonna keep changing.
Exactly 1 month after his 20th birthday, Jann was the youngest person in history to win this historic competition, earning him a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Do you think he had to pay for that, or do you think Nissan paid for that?
I bet Nissan did. That's exposure
Yeah.
for a young brand like Nissan.
I wonder what color that book was. If that was a, because you know that all the books are different.
If it was the 20, no, I think I stopped buying them around 2008.
okay.
I bought all the big ones with like the holographic cover.
Yeah. I had 3 of those. I don't remember what years I had.
Victory had earned Jann a spot in a 6-month development program with Nissan and an international racing license, something that normally takes 3 years to
Whoa.
acquire. That's sick.
Wow.
As part of his contract with Nissan, he competed in races across the UK, honing skills and gaining more experience on the track. Jann was eager to continue racing. He remembered his father's words about finding a passion, finding a purpose. He knew his purpose was to race cars, and he would keep honing his craft. Some of his initial opportunities were at the British GT Championship, the Blancpain Endurance Series, and the Dubai 24-hour race. I think Blancpain just means white bread.
Nice.
That's my favorite endurance race, where the drivers have to eat white bread in the cars.
Yeah, with nothing to drink.
Yep.
A whole loaf.
We were just filming in Tennessee, me and Steph, and she was like, "What does honky tonk mean?" Because like every bar is called honky tonk.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's just like a country thing. I don't know. And so we
Did you look it
asked-
up?
We looked it up and we asked people. It literally means white dive bar, like white trash dive bar.
Okay,
That's
got
like
it.
the whole point.
That's funny. Held at the Dubai Autodrome, the Dubai 24-hour race tested his patience, stamina, and ability to focus over an extended period of time. In one of his first major victories, Mardenborough finished 3rd in class.
That's crazy for an endurance race.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those
Really
5-hour
good.
sessions really paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he already did it as a gamer.
Yeah.
But obviously, 24-hour race, he wasn't the only one driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So depending on who was on his team.
That's why 5-hour stints, dude.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
5-hour stints is a good one. But
Yeah.
no menus, you know? You're just driving.
menus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No hot pockets from mom.
No.
No
bathroom
shit
breaks.
bucket.
Yep.
Actually, this car did have a shit bucket in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pops out onto the track.
Do we know what class car this one was?
I'm assuming this was a GTR.
Not
Yeah.
okay, GTR, not the prototypes. Like, so by this point in the movie, he's driving prototype cars.
No, Yeah.
only the top level drivers get to
no one's
drive.
ever driven it before. Jan, you're going to be the first pilot.
No. I meant like P1. So there's like P1 and P2 and P3. I
Yeah.
think so. They're like the super low to the ground, full aero,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
closed cockpit. You know,
Yeah.
like he was driving those in the movie.
Yeah.
within his first year of racing, and it was just
No.
like, whoa.
Not realistic. In 2013, Jan was paired up with Michael Krom and another previous GT Academy winner, Lucas Ordonez, to compete for Greaves Motorsport in the 24 Hours of Le Mans race. So that was something they had in the movie.
Mhm.
Through a damp and gloomy 24 hours, the three drivers alternated turns at the wheel of their Zytek Z11 SN Nissan, with Jan keeping up with his more experienced counterparts, taking them to the top 4 in their class.
So I remember after GT Academy was established thing, there were a lot of these race series that really rejected them. Like,
Really?
they just did not want them there.
Mhm.
And they
You think
kind
it's
of
like a gimmick or something?
well, yeah, they're like, these kids don't know anything about racing,
Yeah.
right? But really, it was like, what do you call those? Gentleman driver clubs or whatever? Like just rich dudes.
yeah.
Kind of just gatekeeping.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
gatekeeping. It was
Yeah.
literally just rich dudes who bought their way in
Yeah.
or whatever, driving around just like, hey, we're just gentlemen drivers. We're just doing our thing. These kids don't need to be in here, but these kids were way faster than them because they're
Yeah.
actually race car drivers.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Lance Stroll-itis. After re-inspection, the third place finisher was found guilty of constructing a fuel tank against race regulations, resulting in their disqualification.
Uh-oh. I hate it when that happens.
When your gas tank
happens to
is
me
too
all
fat.
the time. Yeah.
Yeah. This bumped Mardenborough and Ordonez up from 4th position to 3rd place in their class and 9th overall.
Dang.
Le Mans
9th
proved-
overall. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's sick.
That's top 10.
Yeah. Dude,
There's a lot
wait,
of YouTube
let me do
videos
the
that are
math.
top 10s.
Oh, yeah. Le Mans proved that Jan wasn't just a fluke. He had the skill to back it up. At 22 years old, Jan had a shot at a lifelong dream when he was selected by Ardent International to compete as a GP3 driver. This, coupled with his development partnership with Red Bull, meant he was even closer to becoming an F1 driver. Quickly, the young Brit became one of the most successful GP3 drivers in their arsenal. In merely half a decade, Mardenborough had gone from playing video games in his parents' house to a life of fame and success in the racing world, living out his wildest dreams. It seemed like Jan was on track to fulfill every last item on his bucket list before he turned 30. However, something was about to happen that would change Mardenborough's life forever.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Aww. On March 28th,
We all know.
On
The
March
one thing.
28th, 2015, Jan competed in the VLN endurance race held at Germany's Nürburgring Nordschleife course. Its dangerous history and propensity for horrific crashes, maybe most notably the 1976 crash of Niki Lauda, got Nordschleife taken out of the Formula One rotation. However, it was still operable and used by other racing events as a circuit. That is how Mardenborough found himself, a relative novice to racing in extreme conditions, out on the field that day.
What do they call? What's the other name? Green Hell.
The
Green Hell. Yeah. I was just thinking the other day, like all those like Silodrome and Petrolicious type Instagram accounts just do the same kind of like love letter posts all the time.
Mhm.
And there's always like every week there's one on Niki Lauda, like with his burn mask.
Yeah.
But that is a crazy story that he crashed, like his lungs were like scarred like crazy. His blood was poisoned and stuff.
Deformed.
And deformed, and he still came back and competed. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he missed like 4 races or something.
Yeah.
That's a love of the sport.
Yeah. It's kind of dumb though. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, that's what.
Just take another week off.
I mean,
Kinda
at,
like-
at that point, you don't have anything else to lose.
That's
Yeah.
true. Initially, Jan struggled to navigate the notoriously difficult layout of the 14-mile circuit. As he finally began to gain the lead, Mardenborough's Nissan GT3 Nismo went nose up, causing it to become airborne and flip wildly towards the fence. Mardenborough's vehicle cleared the safety barriers and his car landed in a crowd of spectators.
Yikes.
Yeah. The video of this is really crazy. And in the movie, it looks
did a pretty
similar.
accurate one in the movie, which is really a really intense moment.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks, you know. It's just the danger of it all. You'd think they'd have fixed that part of the track by now. But
It is weird. Like, has that happened to any other car?
it's
at that
happened
point?
before.
Yeah.
It's actually known for that being
Oh,
a possible
man.
issue. Yeah.
It would take some serious like regrading of the.
Of the Earth,
Yeah.
some terraforming.
Ooh, yeah, I'm just looking at the crash now. Jesus.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
Tra-
The thing though is like, as someone, like he was a guy that played video games to get to this point. You think he would have had thousands of laps on Nürburgring on
I know.
Nordschleife at this point?
But that's where maybe the video game physics don't line up with
Translate.
reality.
yeah,
Because I mean, could you flip over end over end in
in a
Gran
video
Turismo?
game.
If you hit a wall hard enough, but I've never like caught air.
Not that kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen. You'd have to hit a ramp or something would have to
Yeah.
unbalance the game to make it flip. No lift. I don't think
Yeah.
there is lift.
I think in Project Cars they have lift.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because you on a rally car, if you're doing anything in that game, you start to like
Yeah.
from the in-person view, you like
Yeah.
and you hit the ground.
Remember
Right,
when we would
right.
do the Group C car
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
that Scottish course, and there were points where
Yep.
you had
Yeah,
you
you
do go
get nose
flying.
lift, yeah. I
It's a
think
crazy
Forza
feeling.
doesn't, like, I know because you do a lot of jumping in like Forza Horizon and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think there's a slight lift in Forza, but not.
It's more arcadey though.
It's
Yeah.
not. I'm even talking about motorsport.
Oh, you're talking about
But it's
okay.
just not. It's not like real that kind of
Yeah.
lift where literally like your aerodynamics make you an airplane. All
And
of a
this is
sudden.
like very rare. Like this and that Mercedes GT1.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like the perfect conditions that
Yeah.
cause this.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
There's three X's that need to be in line
Yeah.
for it to happen,
Mhm.
but it's not something that's not going to happen.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So tragically, this incident left multiple people injured and resulted in the death of one spectator, a man named Andy Gehrman.
Rest
Shock-
in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Shockingly, 23-year-old Mardenborough emerged relatively unscathed.
But traumatized.
Yeah, I mean that would mess you up. Anytime something like this occurs at a race, the community is reminded that the sport is extremely dangerous. Nissan immediately released a statement, quote,
Today's events have been a tragedy. We are all deeply shocked and saddened by these events, and our immediate thoughts go to the deceased, those injured, and their families and friends. The team is fully cooperating with the race organizers to conduct an immediate and thorough investigation into the incident.
In an interview with the Irish Times in 2023, Jann cited the accident as, quote,
The darkest moment of my personal and professional life.
the guilt overwhelmed him. Knowing that he had been behind the wheel of a car that took someone else's life, accident or not, was excruciating. After the accident, Mardenborough did his best to pick himself up and find a new footing in his career. Eager for a change in scenery, he made a dramatic move, leaving his home in the UK to race in Japan. 5 years after his big break at GT Academy, Mardenborough was making a name for himself as an international race car driver. What could have easily been a mere 15 minutes of fame had now officially become a sustainable career. He kicked off the 2016 season by testing for both F3 and Super GT.
Oh,
Oh.
I wasn't expecting to see that.
No. On September 26th, at the grand finale of the 2016 All Japan F3 Open Wheel Series, Jann qualified in third place. An impressive start that sparked a rivalry on the track between him and fellow driver Kenta Yamashita, a young Japanese racer who had placed second the previous year. By the end, Mardenborough took second in the championship, only 3 points behind Yamashita. This was a validating experience for Jann, proving that he had the racing chops to compete with the freshest and best talent in Japan. Mardenborough once again partnered with Nissan, joining their Impol team in the Super GT's top GT500 class.
Yo.
Jimmy's dreams.
Oh,
Oh,
this is
man.
awesome.
Is that
Jimmy,
your
get in
team
the sim
too?
rig.
Impol is Calsonic, so that's the
Oh.
blue GTRs.
Mhm.
Very famous team. That's really cool.
Dude, That's sick.
That's awesome.
Literally on your laptop.
Yeah, right there.
Whoa.
That's a Team Impul car.
And they have a stocky on there.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Team Impul is really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Did they change their name, or is it just associated with Calsonic?
it's both. Like it's Impul, I think. Calsonic is
Australia?
the company.
Oh, okay. So Jann finished in the top 8 on 3 occasions, placing 14th overall in the series. He continued into the 2018 season, racing in the Super GT with Daiki Sasaki by his side before being moved to the Kondo team in 2019.
Oh.
No stranger to taking pole, headlines finally stopped describing him as, quote, gamer turned driver, and simply addressed him as Jann Mardenborough.
Oh yeah, there's a gamer driver now in FD. He's like 14, 15.
Really?
Yeah, in Formula Drift. He and literally like that's his like gimmick is. Yeah, I did a 1,000 laps of drifting on this exact track before I came here today, and he podiums.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
makes
like
sense.
a force to be reckoned with. So
The only thing that doesn't really like line up is physical strength.
well, the fact that he's able to do both.
Yeah.
He learned doing it
Yeah.
on the rig and drifting in real life, so he's just like it's just like CAD. Yeah, you
Sure.
can't just design something on a computer and then just expect it to work in real life.
Yeah.
You design something in real life, put it in CAD, perfect it, and then remake it. And that's kind of how that works. And he's doing that. He's like, oh, I'm going to try drifting, but at the same time, I'm going to do it on a sim rig because I can't be at those locations.
Yeah.
So he's like, he knew how to drift, so then he just took that online.
Spoken like a true industrial designer.
This is awesome. I actually saw him compete.
Oh,
Because I
hell
went
yeah.
to Super GT in 2019.
In Japan?
In Japan, I actually went to the Suzuka race, and he was there.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Hell
I had
yeah.
no idea.
Well, unfortunately, Jann was unceremoniously dropped from his partnership with Nissan in 2021.
Oh.
He took the sudden loss hard, becoming restless as he struggled to maintain the trajectory of a traditional racing career. But he never was a traditional driver. He started as a gamer, doing what he loved and setting his sights on winning a competition that, at the time, felt like an impossible goal. But he did it. Now, at 30 years old, he was about to experience another near impossible, having his life story made into a movie.
My life's a movie.
My life's a movie, dude.
Last night was a movie.
My life's a podcast.
My life's a joke.
Your life is a YouTube series.
Yeah, there you go.
Jann has continued to be involved in the world of racing in multiple avenues. He spent 2021 and 2022 working with Nissan and McLaren as a developer in Formula E. Whoa, I didn't know that. He also served as a judge on the second season of World's Fastest Gamer, a televised competition that gathered sim racers from multiple platforms and had them compete for the chance to earn a $1 million GT
See,
drive.
that's cool because it's not
That's
locked
awesome.
in to
Yeah.
Gran Turismo and Nissan, so they can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can get your iRacers, you can get
Yeah.
your Garfield
Pole-
racing
your
game.
pole position guys.
Yeah.
You get your like Mario Kart people that bounce
Yeah,
the
yeah.
car around the corner.
That's cool. I like. You have to also think sim technology has changed so
drastically.
much
Yeah,
since when Jann started.
For
Because
sure.
now they've got like systems with like it has the
hydraulics.
moving,
Yeah.
and
So-
the feel.
So is he still racing?
Well, funny you say that. Mardenborough hasn't lost his passion for being on the track. This year, after so much time spent in Japan, Mardenborough returned to his home turf, driving a McLaren 720S GT3 Evo.
Yo.
Sheesh. Oh, bro.
Yo, chill.
Chill. That's fire. Mardenborough returned to British GT for the Silverstone 500. It seems that anything Jann sets his mind to, he accomplishes. From racing to car development to movie production, he has been successful in so many different areas, all at the age of 33. In an interview with GT Planet, he announced that he is hoping to get back into racing full-time in 2025, perhaps even breaking into the American racing market.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
On a trip to Indianapolis this past spring, Mardenborough spoke with WTHR expressing his desire to race in the Indianapolis 500. When asked about what inspires his ambitious career goals, he said, quote,
It's what I believe I was put on earth to do. My purpose is to race a racing car, and I feel like I have a duty to show the world again that you can follow your dreams.
hell yeah, Well, that's the story of Jann Mardenborough. It seems like he's a very driven dude.
I love
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah.
Love Jann now.
You know, thinking back on it now, having like an athlete father probably helped him so much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just the fact that he can run.
Yeah.
And he can,
His
pull a
dad
car.
wasn't. His dad wasn't wrenching. You
Yeah.
know, his
Yeah.
dad was like, "You're driving, baby."
I think Jann also owns an R32 GTR.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he sold it. Okay.
Oh.
He did sell it.
We have listener mail this week. This is from Jeremy Hubbard. He just suggests Betty Cook would make a great podcast topic. She is basically the Michelle Mouton of offshore racing.
Interesting.
Offshore.
And he linked the Wikipedia article. Betty Cook was an honors graduate from MIT and a world champion offshore powerboat racer,
Oh.
and was inducted into the Motorsports Hall of Fame in America in 1996.
Wow.
I like powerboats.
And that's her boat. Look at it, taking flight, dude. That's
Talking about
sick.
taking flight. Yeah.
We've never done boat content.
I think we need to do more boat content.
Yeah, let us know in the
I'm-
comments if you want us to do an episode on Betty Cook, first female offshore champion.
And let us know if you want us to buy a powerboat. I would like a powerboat. I don't know about you, Justin, but
Where would we put it?
somewhere.
Just park it in downtown LA.
Yeah. Somewhere. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Put it on
We'll
the roof.
figure it out. Yeah.
Roof.
On that note, follow our boys Justin Freeman
Yeah.
and Jimmy Hilton,
Russell
RussellJimmy.jpg,
Yeah.
and follow me, Joji Weber. If you haven't liked and subscribed, do that. Tell your friends about the podcast. That's how
Tell
we
'em.
grow.
Yeah.
And watch us on YouTube if you
Your
so
boy.
get it done. Get her done.
Eat her done.
Go play some sim racing.
Yeah, go play Gran Turismo.
Go follow your dreams.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams.
Become a real driver.
Mom, give me the bucket.
Give me the bucket.
More hot buckets, Mom.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.